3,000 kilometers of electrified barbed wire forms the border between India and Pakistan. It is considered impossible to cross. Kashmir, once called paradise on earth, is a tinderbox where countless lives have been defined by conflict. In particular, the lives of the men who spent time on both sides of the border.
You see there, that whole range of mountains, beyond that is Pakistan. At the time, the insurgents took me with them. After 2 days of walking through the forest, we reached the border. Pakistanis were waiting for us on the other side. Now I'm back, but I lived there for 17 years.
When Liaquat crossed the border 22 years ago, he was one among thousands of young Kashmiris rebelling against what they called Indian occupation. In just under a decade, it is estimated that over 50,000 Indian Kashmiris crossed illegally into Pakistan, where they were welcomed with open arms and directed straight to training camps. Liaquat says he was taught to hate India and to wage a jihad against the enemies of Allah.
They brainwashed us. They told us this is war. If you do not take up arms against India, you will die.
Many died in combat. Those who were lucky enough to survive came to a painful realization that they could never go back home. Going back would mean a lifetime in prison, if not a death sentence. So they began to rebuild their lives in Pakistan.
This is my daughter. She returned from Pakistan with me.
But in 2010, India launched a policy aimed at reconciliation with former Mujahideen. Those who had not officially committed any crimes against India would be allowed to return. Like many others, Liaquat was overjoyed. But his happiness was short-lived. Liaquat was arrested as soon as his plane touched down in India. He was interrogated for 2 long months.
They tortured me with electricity. I still have scars on my head. They put a stick between my shoulders and then they hit me. I had no skin left on my neck.
Why did they do that?
For me to say that I was a terrorist and that I had come to India to carry out an attack. But I told them it's not true. I came with my wife and daughter. Terrorists do not travel with their families. I told them that I had returned under the new rehabilitation policy, but they didn't want to hear a thing.
They arrested you on March the 19th, but here it says 21st.
Yes, that way they were able to keep me longer. And they also wrote that they arrested me near a mosque in New Delhi.
What a bunch of liars.
The Indian authorities have acknowledged that they made an error in arresting Liaquat, an error that underlines New Delhi's uneasy relationship with the returning Mujahideen. Liaquat and his family still do not have any official identity documents, which limits their rights as Indian citizens.
The police call us at night and tell us that we should go to the police station the next day. Then the next day you have to go to Srinagar or even Delhi. This is what our lives have been reduced to, going from one police station to the next.
Liaquat and his family are virtually under house arrest, prisoners in their own country. It was hoped that the rehabilitation policy would bring about a genuine reconciliation, a new chapter in India's relations with Kashmir. But the reality is quite different. The 400 men who have returned since 2010 are still regarded with suspicion by the authorities. They feel they're treated like enemies of India. It is here that their troubled pasts unfolded. We traveled in secret to Muzaffarabad in Pakistani Kashmir, a region that is close to all foreigners, including the media. The former Mujahideen, or freedom fighters as they are called here, were trained in Muzaffarabad under the supervision of Pakistan's powerful secret services. Officially, Pakistan denies that it trained men to fight against India. One former Mujahideen agrees to talk to us, and it is clear that for him, India is still the enemy.
I would also like to return to India, but I will return as a freedom fighter to fight for the future of Kashmir, for the next generation. If I get a chance, I will return to wage jihad. I am not going to cross over just to live under the rule of the Indian army. I do not trust them.
Like Uzair Ghazali, most former Mujahideen remain in Pakistan. As a reward for their services, they are entitled to a government pension. Shaukat Maqbool fought for 5 years against India, and although sometimes he feels homesick, he plans to stay in Pakistan.
I love my homeland, where I was born. When your parents, your sisters, your brothers are there, of course you want to return. But at the same time, I'm happy here in Pakistan. I rebuilt my life on this side of Kashmir. I have my small business and a good life.
Shaukat stays in touch with his brothers in arms in India.
Hi, how are you? How's your family?
Okay.
It's good here too.
Behind the smiling facades, the news from India is not good.
Please tell all our brothers in Pakistan that they should not come back here. Perhaps they can return someday, but just not yet.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I agree with you. Those who decide to return today are stupid. Life in Pakistan is better. It's easier. There are no problems here.
You remember how good my business was there?
Oh, yes, I know.
Here I have to start all over again.
Ehsan returned to India a year and a half ago under the rehabilitation policy. He has found a job in a small shoe shop but is struggling to rebuild his life. He's reluctant to discuss his past as a Mujahideen. Were you trained in the camps?
No, I didn't go to the camps.
But plenty of people were trained.
Yes, others were, but not me. I was part of the political wing. My role was to organize demonstrations against the enemy.
That is the official version of Ehsan's story. He is now head of an association of former Mujahideen, and he speaks carefully about his past.
When the freedom movement needed me, I was part of it. Now I'm not needed anymore, because the whole world, including India and Pakistan, want to resolve the Kashmir issue through dialogue. Talks have already begun, and I too want to be a part of this peace process.
In fact, the India-Pakistan dialogue, which began in 2003, has hit a wall. Tensions have escalated in recent months. When the former Mujahideen returned to Indian-administered Kashmir, they found a land that had become the most militarized zone in the world. Ehsan is no longer fighting for independence from India, but for basic rights. The right to education for his children, the right to have identification cards, the right to travel freely, all of which are currently denied to him and his family.
We sent our demands to the Chief Minister about a year ago, but we still have not had any response from him. I wish I had known that they would not fulfill their promises, that we would never live freely here. We're insulted every day. Maybe they only came up with this policy just so that they could earn political brownie points on the international stage.
Ehsan and a few others are attempting to take their complaints to the government. Former rebels within the confines of a power they once fought. They want to meet the representative of India in Kashmir, the chief minister of the state. They soon realize that they're not welcome.
You can sit outside. They can come, is No issue. No, you can sit outside, sir.
They ask us to pass on a letter of complaint to the chief minister.
I've read this. I've had this now. Okay.
The letter does not seem to interest Omar Abdullah, who is generally considered the architect of the reconciliation program.
Please understand, these guys cannot expect to snap their fingers and expect everything to be normal all of a sudden. They left, they went across for training. They have, illegally left the country and come back. We are facilitating that return. They need to understand that there will be a certain amount of difficulty that they will face. They can't expect a bed of roses the moment they arrive back. They will have to face a certain amount of difficulty and uncertainty, but they have an opportunity to come back. I think they should take advantage of that.
Ehsan and his friends feel frustrated by the Chief Minister's attitude.
The Chief Minister always brags in public that he has rehabilitated so many former Mujahideen. I did not go there to fight with him. I wanted to remind him of his promises to us. But you saw how he refused to meet us.
Some families have given up and returned to Pakistan. Resentment against India is still widespread in Kashmir. In recent months, Indian border troops have faced spectacular attacks by a new generation of militants. The conflict in Kashmir is far from over. Now, the new fear is that when foreign troops leave nearby Afghanistan in 2014, the situation will only get worse. Pakistan, they say, will be able to refocus its energies on its old enemy. And India will have its hands full trying to prevent a new generation of Kashmiris from taking the mountain road to Pakistan.